Rest now, Linda. Alone, I drain my cup. I head up for a shower while Lydia predictably storms off to her lonely guest sanctuary, but as the bathroom door opens, I freeze entirely. Lydia is perched on my master bed, fully dressed in her silk sleepwear. Brows knit together, invading my space. Why? Her face contorts with equal irritation. My parents just showed up unexpectedly. They claimed the guest room. Wait, in my previous life, despite demanding grandchildren, they never once visited this cursed manor to check on us. Why alter the timeline now? Blindsided, I mutter. This is incredibly sudden. Lydia barks a venomous, sarcastic laugh. Sudden? Reflect on your little chat with Naomi and try acting surprised. Ah. So, rushed home to fake perfection for an ambush inspection. I totally underestimated Naomi's meddling, snitching straight to the parents. Now, I'm suddenly trapped with the in-laws from absolute hell. Damn, this rebirth butterfly effect. I'm not wearing this blame. I merely asked her to enlighten you about signing those divorce papers. How on earth was I supposed to predict she'd weaponize your own family against you? Veins popping, her voice drops to a lethal warning. How long will you play these childish games? I stand there in absolute silence. Striding to the drawer, I slim a pristine document onto the table. Pre-signed, 0 alimony, 0 assets, just pure unadulterated divorce. I thrust the cold contract toward her chest. Then you'll see exactly how deadly serious I really am. The room's atmosphere freezes. Lydia's eyes blaze with hostility, but just as she moves to rip the papers, a sudden knock echoes. Her mother's gentle voice pierces the tension. Lydia, Marcus, are you both still awake in there? In a flash, Lydia buries the contract beneath the sheets. She cracks the door open. Mother, it is incredibly late. What is wrong? Her mother stands warmly in the hall. We were heading to sleep, but your light was blazing. We just wanted to check in. I step into view. It is time to act the perfect husband. We were just heading to bed ourselves, Mother. I smoothly lock my arm with Lydia's, leaning affectionately against her. She stiffens, shooting me a lethal glare. It remains entirely silent. Her mother beams with delight. It truly is late. Your father has the massive summit forum coming up in 2 days. We made a sudden trip to Alton, so we decided to crash here instead of a hotel. I immediately flash my most devoted smile. It is fantastic news. We have missed you both terribly. Let us treat you to a spectacular feast while you are visiting. Let us make a proper reunion of it. All right, you two newlyweds get some rest. Do not stay up till late now. That she turns and heads down the hall. In my previous life, I made one colossal fatal miscalculation. I foolishly believed Lydia was a rebel. I poured my soul into her, convinced that winning her elusive heart was the only victory that mattered. I was utterly wrong. I watched her fight like a demon for her family's blessing. All for that bastard, Zane. Family was her ultimate weakness. If I had manipulated her parents' favor back then, I would never have suffered the pathetic defeat. Quietly click the door shut, exhaling a heavy, invisible sigh of relief. Our eyes lock. A suffocating, awkward silence instantly floods the room. You take the bed, I will take the couch. Or vice versa. Lydia collapses onto the mattress, her voice dripping with ice. Do not bother. Do you honestly think either of us feels a spark? I must admit, she is an absolute master at shattering egos. I swallow the bitterness and remain dead silent. I simply lie on the opposite edge. This is literally the second time we have shared a bed since our wedding day. The first was our disastrous wedding night. We lie completely back to back. Like two sworn enemies forced to share a trench. The quiet is deafening. Can you give me Naomi's number? Full silence. Frustrated, I roll over to face her back. Is she seriously asleep already? Irritation flares in my chest. Then her voice slices the dark like a blade. No. Fine. I squeeze my eyes shut, forcing sleep. Suddenly, a deep, ominous rumble shakes the walls. A brutal storm is brewing outside. Boom. The heavens tear open. I violently yank the blanket over my head in a single terrified motion. Yet, even the deafening thunder cannot mask Lydia's murderous tone. Marcus. I peek out from my fabric shield to face her glaring wrath. My bad. Thunder terrifies me. She has never held a drop of pity for me. With one vicious tug, she steals the blanket back. Not my problem. Crash. Another apocalyptic thunderbolt shatters the sky. I launch across the mattress like a missile, burying myself entirely in her embrace. The divorce can absolutely wait. Surviving this terrifying night comes first. Lydia instantly freezes, utterly appalled. Honestly, who would enjoy cuddling a man built like a frail bamboo stock? Even my own pride is cringing at this display. With extreme prejudice, Lydia peels my arms away. Do not touch me ever. I swallow the bitter rejection and mask my bruised ego. Quit stealing my blanket. She kicks the duvet onto my face. Rising coldly, she grabs a spare and banishes herself to the hard floor. I swaddle myself tightly into a warm cocoon. My gaze drifts to the cold floor, where my supposed wife lies in the shadows. Dark thought enters my mind. If her precious Zane feared the thunder, she would probably hold him tight until morning. That night, the past life haunts my dreams again. The suffocating despair, the helpless fury, it burns like a brand on my soul. Morning breaks. I wake up to an empty floor. Lydia is already gone, stealing myself for the day. I dress and descend the stairs. The estate is awake. Linda prepares a lavish breakfast while the staff scrubs the halls to a shine. Outside, my mother-in-law is gently pruning storm-battered flowers while her husband watches fondly. I step into the morning light, plastering on a flawless smile. Mother, father, you are up quite early. She chuckles warmly. At our age, sleeping in is a myth. We have to keep moving. I approach smoothly, casually linking my arm with hers. Ignoring her brief shock, I launched straight into my calculated charm offensive. Mother, an associate of mine, runs a high-end boutique. He recently acquired a breathtaking pair of extremely rare violet jadeite bracelets. They are absolutely flawless. He needed quick cash, so I secured them immediately. Knowing your legendary passion for collecting fine jadeite, I will retrieve them within 2 days and present them to you. My mother-in-law has an absolute obsession with top-tier jadeite. She even boasts a dedicated vault for them. I am purposely targeting her greatest weakness. I am building this alliance, not to win Lydia's heart. No, my motives are much darker. I intend to make the path between my cold wife and that bastard Zane in absolute living hell. Just a little payback. And right on cue, my mother-in-law's eyes sparkle with absolute delight. Legendary violet jadeite. I will bring them over. I must see them. If they capture my heart, name your price. Family does not deal in coins. Just wait. I will deliver them in a couple of days. Truthfully, my own mother gifted me a breathtaking pair. Her priceless treasure easily worth millions in the open market. If this seals my mother-in-law's loyalty and crushes Zane's miserable future, it is a brilliant tactical sacrifice. Right on cue, her warm touch anchors my dark resolve. Marcus, your heart is pure gold. I refuse to exploit you. I will pay its true worth. I merely smile, shaking my head. Mother, please, since we cannot protect you every single day, consider this small gift a shield of utmost devotion. Your health and joy are my ultimate wealth. Nothing else matters. My in-laws immediately exchange bewildered, incredibly heavy glances. 5 agonizing years, and I never dared speak such devotion. My father-in-law solemnly adjusts his cuffs. Marcus, your sincere heart alone is absolute perfection. We desire only one final blessing before passing, a precious grandchild. You too must focus your energy. A sudden dark shadow crosses her face, pulling me into the quiet hallway. She whispers anxiously, Marcus, have you too finally sought medical help? My foolish daughter burned away her vitality, chasing worldly ambitions. The sheer honesty violently shakes my core. I never realized her terrifyingly sharp instincts. Facing a barren marriage, she immediately points the blade of blame at her own blood. At me, guilt twists my stomach, yet the mask remains flawless. Mother, breathe easy. Our health is completely fine. Lydia is merely drowning in her corporate empire. Her shadow rarely graces of a home, stalling destiny's natural, delicate timeline. Exhales a devastated sigh. We see the toxic, filthy gossip pages. We reprimand her endlessly, yet you wear the husband's crown. You must tighten the leash on her. I know her black heart drifts toward another man's orbit. Yet, by those desperate maternal eyes, I silently nod in false obedience. Morning warmth fills the dining table as we eat. Hearing Lydia vanished before dawn sparks absolutely zero reaction in my newly hardened soul. The blazing fire I once held has frozen into one chilling reality: indifference. Tires screeching, I hunt down Naomi at the hospital to settle our bitter score. Her shift barely ends before my imposing figure completely blocks her sanctuary's exit. A perfectly hollow smile stretches across my face. Dr. Naomi, care to spare a few moments? Her porcelain features remain locked in a glacier of indifference. Uninvited, I boldly said, running away from a bleeding conscience. Demanded you persuade Lydia toward divorce. Instead, you directly summoned her powerful parents to Crestwood Manor's front gates. When did you become the righteous guardian of my miserable marriage? A saint who would burn 10 temples before separating to fools. Naomi pierces me with dead eyes. They simply asked about your marital harmony as of late. I delivered the absolute truth. You desire a divorce. Rage boils my blood. Did this ice queen sacrifice all empathy for beauty? Of all the brilliant lies available, she dropped that nuclear bomb. How am I supposed to face my in-laws' shattered expectations right now? My temples throb with apocalyptic migraines. Before I unleash fury, the urgent nurse summons her away. Silence falls over her pristine office. My predatory gaze locks onto her thermos. Zero hesitation. I pluck a filthy cigarette out from the bin, plunging it into her drink. Instant karma. I hiss, storming out in a restless, thoroughly irritated frenzy. Wandering like a lost spirit through the concrete jungle, I eventually drag my exhausted self home. Midday sun brings the rich aroma of a grand feast. But inside the oppressive living room, Lydia sits trapped with her imposing, furious parents. Suffocating tension chokes the air. Spotting me, maternal warmth immediately replaces the fury. "Marcus, welcome." I bow respectfully, claiming my seat. Instantly, her gentle hand grips mine before she shoots daggers at Lydia's soul. "Lydia, engrave these absolute words into your skull. One more filthy scandal with absolute trash like him, and you're violently banished from this proud bloodline for all of eternity." My jaw nearly hits the floor in pure shock. Mother, father, please breathe. Marcus suffered immensely in this cold marriage. Lydia abandoned her sacred duty for years, constantly attracting venomous parasites and dragging our noble name through the mud. Only a saint with an iron will could endure her chaos. Grant her one final chance. That we will brutally discipline her. Just because Naomi leaked my secret divorce plans, they are unleashing absolute terrifying hell upon their own child. Before my fateful regression, I was completely blind to their fierce, unyielding, protective loyalty. When she originally dragged Zane into our home, her heart was a sealed vault. Pleading proved utterly useless. Now she glares at me with an aura of absolute frost. She clearly believes I orchestrated this parental ambush. Even slamming the divorce papers yesterday could not crack her delusional, blinding arrogance. Time to play the flawless saint. With agonizing gentleness, I speak. Mother, father, relax. These vile rumors are mere corporate warfare tactics. Faith in her remains absolute. The intimidating patriarch finally breaks his heavy silence. Marcus, your noble soul is far too pure. Blind trust is beautiful, but our awakened eyes have witnessed her crushing your spirit. Never show absolute devotion. The human heart only sees the unattainable. Endless giving breeds contempt. We only mourn the illusions that slip through our fingers. A bitter amusement washes over me. Lydia sits there radiating pure fury. I just play the perfect son-in-law. Understood. Mother. On cue, Linda announces lunch. My mother-in-law's gaze softens with clear approval. I mask my shadows with a warm smile. Linda's culinary skills are truly unmatched. You should dine here more often. The facade holds perfectly as we walk to the table. Even 2 days, but look at you. You must rebuild your strength, Marcus. If only she knew the dark future ahead. Throughout this rare feast, Lydia's aura remains freezing cold. I effortlessly charm her parents. Suddenly, her phone vibrates. Lydia's piercing glare locks onto me like a sniper. I brush off her hostility. But the moment we retreat after lunch, the storm finally breaks into my room. She shoves her screen into my face. "Was this your doing?" It was Naomi's panicked message. Disgusting cigarette but floating in her thermos. My expression remains utterly deadpan. Yes, that was me. Traitors get punished. Lydia's eyes burn with absolute disbelief. "Marcus, have you completely lost your mind?" The past Marcus was a pathetic, seen ghost to her friends. Now I am the architect of their misery. My voice is a calm, chilling abyss. I have lost nothing. I simply woke up. 10 agonizing years, Lydia. I bled my youth for your frozen heart. If you cannot love me, the waiting ends now. Destiny is finally mine to forge. I refuse to swallow poison for you anymore. Lydia steps closer, her aura sharp as shattered glass. If my love was such an unbearable curse, why not run away sooner? True wrath ignites in my chest. I write my own endings. Silence becomes suffocating. She stares at me, witnessing a total stranger. The heavy tension breaks as she storms out. My breath finally escapes. An empty void consumes my chest. That very afternoon, the second Lydia departs, follow her shadow into the city. Zane was always present at that cafe, but the day I targeted Naomi, he completely vanished. Destiny's timing is a cruel poem. The usual black coffee brother. Zane shines radiantly behind the counter. Flawless protagonist smile. I smirk back. Actually, recommend me something dangerously sweet. Zane's eyes light up, a macchiato. It brings this warm, sweet rush, just like falling in love. I analyze the irony. Make it a macchiato. It coats my tongue with sugar. Love tastes nothing like this. I am the dark, bitter coffee of this timeline. And Zane, he is the effortless golden sunlight. Everyone revs. Sipping the poison, my mind races. 2 days remain until his fated encounter with Lydia. The Grand Summit Forum commences at 9:30 sharp. Zane will be guarding the gates. Once Lydia's eyes meet his, the chains of destiny will lock them together. I intercept him smoothly. Zane, seeking a better side hustle. I have a high-paying tutoring gig starting tomorrow. His face fills with gratitude, but he rejects the lifeline. Thanks, brother, but school calls. After my summit shift in 2 days, I am returning to the academy. A heavy realization strikes me, the new semester. Temporal interference was too slow. A few days earlier, I could have shattered their meeting, but considering the absolute magnetic pull of their karma, blocking this path would only forge another. Fate's current is too monstrous to dam completely. The bitterness with a grin, no worries, just an idea. Leaving this cafe behind too. Nostalgia flickers in Zane's eyes. Yeah, duty calls. He flashes that blinding smile. I will miss you, brother. Guilt twists my stomach. Golden boy knew my dark truths. He would look at me with sheer disgust. The shop bell chimes. As Zane turns away, I settle my tab and vanish into the shadows. My time at this humble cafe is over. The crushing gears of fate have officially engaged. Witnessing this tragedy replay from the shadows, it rips at the soul just as brutally. Naomi's incident proved the terrifying power of the butterfly effect. Unseen storms are brewing, and I must stand ready. With her parents occupying Crestwood Manor, Lydia is forced to play the devoted wife, even sharing my curse at bed. She sleeps peacefully in the deception. I lie awake in torment. Until one night, I finally break the silence. When do you leave for tomorrow's forum? Lydia feigns sleep beside me. 8. She murmurs, bringing a +1. I need to witness this legendary encounter. In my past life, Lydia and Zane's scandalous romance shook the entire world. One icy eye peeks open, her dark gaze drips with absolute mockery. You a +1, she scoffs. Legally, yes. At business forum regularly welcomes elite spouses. Power couples flaunt their status there. Given my family's immense backing, my presence is entirely natural. But my cold wife disagrees. Dream on. She snares. I turn, studying her flawless profile. The features are a masterpiece carved from ice. That striking jawline is unfairly, devastatingly perfect. How does a goddess the successful lose her heart to a completely ordinary man? I lower my voice dangerously. Refuse and I will have your father escort me a flawless strike. Her glare turns murderous. Be ready by 8. 1 minute late and you are dead to me. Deal. 7:30. I smirk. The stage is set. I will witness every agonizing detail of their faded romance. Once these divorce papers are signed, my tell-all book, as her ex-husband, will be a masterpiece. The public will devour their tragic romance. By morning, I am impeccably dressed for the show. We arrive in suffocating silence. The grand conference doors stand open. With flawlessly dressed staff. There he is, Zane. His protagonist aura is unmistakable. Lydia abruptly unbuckles her seatbelt. She hasn't noticed her destiny yet. Go ahead, I tell her. I will follow shortly. In my previous life, Zane never once met the husband he wronged. Let us maintain that shadow play today. Without a word, she strides toward the entrance. Through the glass, I watch fate's gears finally turn. She reaches Zane. Though her back is turned, poised footsteps shudder for a split second. The destined encounter. A heavy weight plummets in my chest. The bitter dust of my past life finally settles. Surrounded by elite society, the Ice Queen will never betray her sudden racing heart. Her immense pride forbids it. Only when her silhouette vanishes inside do I finally step into the fray. Zane's eyes lock onto me. Shock flares, then vanishes. A polite nod. I flash a hollow smile and pass. Lydia claims the VIP front row. The venue coordinator hovers beside her, deeply engaged in conversation. I slide into the seat beside my wife. I will text his number later, the coordinator whispers. The man pales awkwardly, fleeing the scene. Better survival instincts than Vincent. I mutter bitterly. I will give him that. Lydia whips her head toward me, pure venom dancing in her beautiful eyes. Her mind is completely consumed by Zane. My mere existence disgusts her, which makes provoking her utterly irresistible. Vincent sat beside me for hours without a clue. Lydia ignores my bait, staring blankly ahead. How fitting. Am I that invisible as your husband, or are his instincts just pathetic? Silence. Her gaze is glued to Zane approaching us. Dazzling foreign warmth erupts in her cold eyes. My heart twists. It is the exact same spellbound gaze I gave her when we first met. But wait. Zane's eyes lock strictly onto me. Not a single glance at my wife. Perhaps his love for Wendy is genuine. How else could he completely ignore the blazing devotion radiating from the Ice Queen beside me? Distributing translation earpieces, he flashes me a polite grin. He turns to Lydia with a sunny aura, and my frozen wife actually smiles back. Thank you. She breathes softly. That whispered moment seals my fate. He is already her world. Zane throws her a second bewildered glance. Stunned disbelief washes over the boy. One simple word from the goddess, and his ears burn crimson. He ignoring her to suppress this exact spark. The tension shatters as the grand forum commences. Elite titans debate the monumental joint development between Alton, Carlton, and their massive surrounding territories. Carlton's terrifying growth has devoured local markets. They are practically suffocating from their own overwhelming success. Aggressive expansion is inevitable. I only catch fragments of business jargon drowning entirely in my swirling thoughts of rebirth. The curtains close. My father immediately corners me. "Marcus, what on earth brings you here?" "Just killing time." I deflect easily. He knows corporate warfare usually bores me to tears. His eyes widen with pure shock, tracking Lydia across the VIP hall. "You actually came with your wife." Every graceful movement radiated absolute authority. She was a queen born to rule this empire. Even among these elite titans, Lydia's youthful brilliance eclipses them all. I nodded silently as my father grips my shoulder. "Perfect. As her husband, you must claim your rightful territory in this ruthless shark tank." Right on cue, my father-in-law intercepts us. The two patriarchs instantly plunge into a symphony of fake enthusiastic pleasantries. I melt into the shadows, hunting the hall for Zane. His shift is over. He should be cashing out now. I sweep the opulent venue. There he is by the service exit, wages secured and anxiously waiting for his escape. Zane's innocent smile cuts through the gloom. Approach with practiced ease. "Final gig of the season, huh?" He nods happily. "We are grabbing a feast to celebrate. Care to join?" I accept instantly, feigning innocence. Am I ruining a romantic night? Crimson floods his cheeks. It is just food. His naive fluster is exactly what draws ravenous wolves to him. He radiates untainted sunlight, a fresh sapling, begging to be devoured. With zero guilt, I invite myself into their evening. Wendy sits waiting at the smoky barbecue joint, entirely unaware of the storm brewing. Seeing me beside him, pure terror flashes in her eyes as she shoots up. Zane just laughs, slinging an arm around me. "Hope you do not mind a +1. I offer a perfectly crafted, apologetic smile. "It's your friendly neighborhood third wheel." She shakes her head frantically, masking her panic. "Please, sit." Zane and I slide into the booth together. Wendy takes the opposite side, her tension palpable. We order a mountain of rum meat, while the charcoal embers blaze. The heavy iron grate sizzles, surrounded by a sprawling banquet, just waiting to be thrust into the scorching flames. Discovering we share the same alma mater, Zane practically glows, eagerly drowning the table in nostalgic college stories. Wendy flips the sizzling pork, stealing love-struck glances at Zane, while shooting me looks full of nervous dread. Suddenly, the cozy atmosphere shatters. His phone vibrates. My eyes catch the caller ID. Vanity number dripping with 8s. Only one predator wields those digits. Lydia. The huntress has officially begun her deadly game. Zane frowns in sheer bewilderment. He drops the phone face down, ignoring the venomous bait. Wendy smiles blissfully. "Who is texting you?" Zane avoids her eyes, staring into the flames. "Just spam." I look at Wendy with quiet pity. She happily cooks for a man targeted by a monster. Bathroom break. I escape the shadows and text my own strike. Not a fan of the silver Rolls Royce. You abandoned it that day, tossing the keys right at the grand estate gates. Thank heavens our manor has elite security, or your little toy would be gone. I calmly return to the battlefield. Wendy stares into the scorching grill, absolutely paralyzed, refusing to meet my deadly gaze. To outsiders, I look like a wealthy playboy toying with a naive girl. But beside me, Zane is rapidly spiraling. Impatient with his silence, Lydia attacks with a direct call. He jumps, frantically, declining and typing a panicked reply. I cannot read his desperate message, so I play the innocent friend. You can just block those relentless scammers, you know. He buries his phone against the table. Yeah, I know. Whatever desperate excuse he sent somehow pacified the beast. The digital silence falls, but this piece is an illusion. When Lydia rovs a new toy, she will drag the stars down. The feast slowly turns to ashes. Each of us trapped in our own suffocating webs of deceit. Wendy desperately offers a ride home. I wave her off like a gracious saint. Just take Zhang. She still dodges my stare. Stay safe, she mutters. I hail their escape carriage. Do not worry about me. Watch them vanish into the suffocating night. I summon Ray from the darkness. 15 minutes later, my loyal shadow arrives. Seeing his emotionless obedience, a heavy sigh escapes. Ray, if only my darling wife were as obedient as you. He blinks coldly. Sir, did I track Miss Lydia down? I massage my throbbing temples. Just drive me home. He nods, carving a path back to the luxurious cage of Crestwood Manor. But Lydia is entirely absent. My mother-in-law glares like a hawk. Marcus, where is my daughter? Did you lose your own wife? We grabbed dinner with friends. I played the clueless husband. I assumed she was asleep. But I know the truth. She is hunting. Her soul is already intertwined with her new prey. The patriarch's face contorts with explosive fury. We have not even departed for Carlton, and she pulls all-nighters without us. She treats this dynasty like a cheap motel. He slashes his hand through the air. track her down. If she ignores you, rip through her entire contact list. The mother-in-law shoots me a deadly, calculating look. I silently surrender my device. Let the queen execute her own daughter. Her wrath will strike much deeper than mine ever could. I barely know Lydia's inner circle, but I hold all their lifelines. Except the elusive Naomi. The older woman aggressively scrolls, slamming the speakerphone button as the brutal interrogation begins. 5 calls later, Stella finally answered. "Lydia, your husband is calling." "Ignore him," Lydia scoffed. Cold dismissal echoed perfectly through the speaker, followed by mocking laughter. The crowd cheered her cruelty on. To them, I was just a pathetic, unloved husband. Suddenly, Stella gasped. "It is mother." Dead silence instantly fell over the room. Lydia finally answered. "Lydia, where are you? Partying with useless men again. Are you throwing your life away?" Lydia sighed heavily. "I am just eating with friends. I will be back in 30 minutes. Return immediately." The call snapped shut as a strange man's chuckle echoed through the line. My mother-in-law shot me a complicated, deeply pitying glance. "Marcus, talk some sense into her later." 30 minutes passed, and Lydia stormed inside, seeping with pure irritation. Calmly wiped my mouth after dinner. Her piercing glare locked onto me, practically freezing the air itself. She tossed her coat onto the sofa like trash and marched fiercely toward the stairs. Her parents remained dead silent, glued to the television. Steeled my nerves and followed. Water rushed in the master bathroom. Her phone rested carelessly on the sheets. Temptation nodded at my pride. Had she crawled back to Zayn already today? I grabbed the device. Face recognition blocked my path. As I surrendered, the screen lit up with a blinding notification, an apology text from Zayn. "Miss Lydia, I have a girlfriend, and I heard about your preview, ruthlessly cut off. I desperately needed to unlock it." Suddenly, Lydia's icy voice slashed through the silence. "What do you think you are doing?" She violently snatched the device away. "Keep your filthy hands off my phone." She unlocked it, reading a Zayn's crushing rejection. Absolute fury shattered her beautiful face. A goddess like Lydia possessed any man she desired. One beckoning finger could destroy countless marriages, yet Zayn had effortlessly rejected her grand allure. Her colossal ego had never suffered a blow like this. I played the fool. "Who is texting?" She glared daggers. "Mind your own business." A knowing smirk touched my lips. "Let me guess. He heard you are married and expects you to honor those vows. Something painfully noble like that." I knew Zayn intimately. That was exactly his righteous, untouchable style. Lydia collapsed onto the bed's edge. Without hesitation, I pulled the newly revised divorce papers from the drawer. I added one fatal condition: 3% of Lydia Group shares. She scoffed loudly. 3%. Marcus, you greedy bastard. That corporate ladder was packed with executives holding far less than 3%. I paused for a tense moment. How could I phrase this delicately? If she rejected this bargain now, her future losses would be entirely catastrophic. She rejected you because you are shackled to me, right? Pay this tiny fee to escape and claim him freely. Lydia arched a mocking eyebrow. You truly think he is worth that price? That single sentence paralyzed my breathing. She would inevitably burn her entire world down for him. She just had not realized her own twisted, undeniable obsession yet. I let out a heavy sigh, ripping the papers into snowy shreds. Next time I would demand 10%. Her venomous gaze tracked my every movement. I showed my temporary defeat and retreated into the steamy bathroom. Stepping back out, I found Lydia engulfed in balcony shadows. A lit cigarette burned between her fingers as the cold night breeze howled. I coughed loudly. She glanced back, put her phone shut, and crushed the glowing ash viciously beneath her heel. Straightening my collar, I spoke with deliberate ice. "Throw it in the trash next time. Linda suffers enough working for you." I always went out of my way to protect Linda's dignity. She cooked, brewed my bitter medicine, and scrubbed the master suite. My secret bonus payments kept her fiercely loyal. Lydia sneered like a tyrant. Maids are paid to clean my mess. If the peasant hates it, she can quit. I shook my head in utter disgust. Linda would destroy her arrogance soon. Suddenly, my own phone shattered the tension. Wendy, pure shock washed over me. "Marcus, please help." Her panicked, whipping voice pierced my ear. "They are hurting me." My blood instantly ran cold. "Where are you?" Brutal striking sounds and agonized sobs echoed violently from the Pinnacle Hotel lot. The line went dead. Instinct took over completely. I snatched my keys and practically tore the bedroom door off its hinges. "Where do you think you're going?" Lydia barked. I did not even blink. "Jason needs me immediately." I roar into the Pinnacle Hotel parking lot. Wendy lay crumbled on the unforgiving concrete, completely battered and broken. 4 wealthy, aggressive women noticed my rapid approach. Is this the pathetic backup you called, you little rat? I ignored their mocking venom and pulled Wendy's trembling body up. Her face was brutally swollen as she whispered her nightmare. I was parking cars. I barely scratched their bumper. I offer to pay. They demand 100,000. I don't have that kind of money. My brow furrows in sheer disgust. Show me the vehicle. Trembling, Wendy points toward a pristine white sedan park nearby. One glance is all it takes to read the situation. That junk is worth 200, different at best, demanding 100,000 for a mere scratch. What a pathetic scam. The ringleader sizes me up, her eyes dripping with absolute contempt. Well, little boy, you ready to empty your pockets for her? A scrawny punk like you isn't even worth our time. Yet, against all odds, Wendy forces herself upright. Her bruised, bloodied finger aims straight at her tormentors, her voice shaking with untamed fury. Shut your filthy mouths. Go ahead and beat me to death if you dare. My eyes widen. Shockwave of genuine surprise hits me. This girl actually has a backbone of steel. I fully expected her to cower behind my shadow, desperately waiting for the storm to blow over. Her defiance acts like gasoline on a raging fire. I step forward, hitting her entirely, my aura turning freezing cold. Give me 3 minutes. I dial a single number. We are standing right on the Pinnacle Hotel's territory, and Wendy is their own staff. Management should have intervened ages ago. Yet, they remained blissfully blind to this chaos. The woman sneers, mockingly, calling for reinforcements. Listen here, honey. We run the underworld in Alton. You bring 10 men, we'll bring 100. Just try us. Pathetic. I've never even heard her name. They are just bottom-feeding trash, playing dress-up. I terminate the call. Exactly 3 minutes later, the general manager of the Pinnacle Hotel arrives, sweating profusely as he bows before me. His greeting drips with absolute reverence. Mr. Marcus, sir. It brings a VIP like you here tonight. My voice remains dangerously calm. A friend of mine works here part-time. She was brutally assaulted by these women. I trust you know exactly how to handle this trash. The manager spins around, face turning purple with rage. You dare lay hands on Mr. Marcus's guest. The arrogant women freeze, the colour completely draining from their faces. The Pinnacle Hotel isn't just any place. It's Alton's most elite 5-star fortress. They realise the absolute gravity of their mistake. In this world, raw power is the only language truly understood. Even the proudest lions turn into whimpering dogs when crushed by true authority. Those same vicious predators from moments ago, even knowing my true identity, they are now violently bowing their heads, pleading for mercy beneath the manager's crushing glare. Trembling like leaves, they desperately offer up thick stacks of cash to cover Wendy's medical bills. They try to scurry away like rats. My voice cuts through the air. Halt. I turn my gaze to Wendy. Slap every single one of them. Wendy freezes, staring at me and at her disbelief. Surviving and getting her money back was already a miracle in her eyes, kicking back against her oppressors. That concept hadn't even registered in her mind. I firmly grasp her trembling hand, pulling her straight into the face of her abusers. Do not fear them. Watch exactly how it is done. Crack. Palm ruthlessly connects with the nearest thug's face. 2 more devastating slaps echo through the parking lot. Their eyes burn with pure hatred, but sheer terror keeps them paralyzed. My hand stings with adrenaline as I dismiss the garbage. It is from my sight. A deadly silence claims the parking lot, desperate to please. The manager immediately offers me premium tea, but mingling with weak-willed strangers in the dead of night holds zero appeal. I reject his offer without a second thought. Meanwhile, Wendy is completely lost in a daze. Her soul hasn't returned to her body since that explosive first strike. I reach out, gently pulling her along, as if guided by fate. Come on, we need to get those wounds treated. I guide her stunned form toward the neon-lit street, where my ride waits in the shadows. Wendy instinctively pulls away. I can manage on my own. I shoot her a single, undeniable glare. Silence. During the drive, her emotional walls crumble, revealing the tragic truth. Her father suffered a devastating fall days ago. He was currently bedridden in a hospital ward, drowning in medical debts. She had been working herself to the bone, juggling endless part-time jobs just to secure her tuition before the semester began. She called me because some desperate instinct whispered that I was her only salvation, and in that fleeting moment, a realization strikes me. This was exactly why Zay was slowly ruined in my past life. When the universe violently backs you into a dead end, there is nowhere left to run. Then a savior descends, swatting away the storm clouds with a single gesture. Who wouldn't pledge their soul to them? We cannot choose our origins, but any sane person will grab the hand of a god if it reaches down. After ensuring Wendy is safely patched up, I drag my exhausted body back to my domain. The hot shower washes away the night's chaos as I slip into bed. Suddenly, Lydia's voice pierces the darkness, cold, hoarse, piercing. Did you have fun? My eyes snap open. Did I disturb your sleep? Just endure it for 2 more days. Once your parents finally leave, this charade ends. Sadia's tone instantly sharpens into a blade. Marcus, do not test my limits. That venomous pitch means her patience has completely shattered. I throw my hands up in sheer frustration. What crime did I even commit? She violently rolls over, her eyes burning like blue flames. Parents are literally sleeping downstairs, and you just waltz into the night like a ghost. Have you lost your damn mind? A heavy, suffocating silence follows between us. A heartbeat passes. A tiny sliver of guilt breaches my defenses. Just sharp intuition figure out my lie about meeting Jason. In all fairness, the usually explosive Lydia had been suppressing her volatile nature just for her parents' sake. Meanwhile, she vanished into the abyss of night to play the legendary hero for a college girl. Tenderly nursing her wounds, I surrender the battlefield. Fine, I understand. No more vanishing acts while they are here. No traces left behind. It dies here. I turn my back to her, fearing for the escape of sleep. But Lydia suddenly shatters the script. Her warmth draws closer, a dangerous searching intensity locked within her gaze. My hand rises, blocking her advance, with an expression carved from glacial ice, testing me again. The words crash down like freezing waves, instantly killing the fragile spark between us. Our eyes clash in a silent war for 3 agonizing seconds. Then, defeated, she turns away, retreating back into her frozen isolation. Skirmish ends as swiftly as it began, brutally cold and surgically clean, erasing any trace of emotion. Facing away from her, I close my eyes as a hollow phantom pain slowly consumes my chest. To think in a forgotten past, foolishly dreamed of building a family with her. Just a quiet, beautiful illusion of a simple life. My only goal now, surviving until the divorce is finalized. Exhaustion finally dragged me under just before dawn, keeping me dead to the world until midday. Screen lights up with notifications. A text from my mother-in-law catches my eye. Her family abruptly retreated to Carlton. Sean wants another concert gig, but an unknown notification makes my blood run freezing cold. My breath catches in my throat. Attached is a clandestine photograph. Wendy and I leaving the shadowy parking structure last night. The malicious camera angle screams illicit romance. Wendy's bruised state makes it look incredibly damning. My mind races, frantically analysing the trap. King tabloid hound. Or retaliation from those vicious women we crossed. My wife and father bask in the spotlight. But I have always clung to the shadows. I have practically been a ghost since the wedding. Who is targeting me? Frustration boiling over. Dial the mysterious sender. A brief crackle of connection, then a dead dial tone. Fingers flying across the screen, I demand their identity. If this perfectly framed lie hits the public eye, our actual innocence will mean absolutely nothing. Digital mob would tear us apart. All I want is to vanish quietly into the background. Becoming a scandalous headline is my worst nightmare. My screen chimes. 3 chilling words. It is Naomi. My heart skips a beat. Have been lurking at the Pinnacle Hotel. Her hospital suspicions about Wendy and me had just evolved into weaponized evidence. Silver words cannot save me now. I type frantically, admitting my presence, but desperately denying her twisted conclusions. Let me buy you dinner. I will lay out the entire truth. The silence stretches on. The digital void feels incredibly heavy. The suspense is suffocating. I hit call once more. A cold voice finally answers. Set the location and time. The line goes dead. Strategy forms quickly. The Pinnacle Hotel. We resolve this exactly where the nightmare began. Her response is a single frosty agreement. Perfect. A heavy stone of dread anchors my chest all afternoon. As the clock strikes 7 in the evening, court, I armor up and march toward the battlefield. I secure their most luxurious private suite, commanding the kitchen to prepare a lavish 18-course feast. 18 plates should buy enough time to shatter her suspicions. The manager approaches, discreetly sliding a flash drive into my waiting hand. Mr. Marcus, your requested parking lot surveillance from last night. A triumphant smirk plays on my lips as I secure the ultimate weapon. Moments later, Naomi glides in. An aura of absolute freezing elegance surrounds her. She claims her seat and immediately draws her blade. Confess. I deploy my most disarming smile, suggesting we dine first. Her icy glare remains completely unfazed. Explain your connection to Wendy. Coincidental friendship, I reply smoothly. I even know her lover. A crack finally appears in Naomi's stoic mask. She has a partner? I nod, keeping my dark realization hidden. Soon, she will not. Ironically, Lydia is hunting that exact same man. Connect the drive and push the screen into her territory. Witness the truth. The unblinking eye of the camera reveals all, every step, every gesture, every single breath shared with Wendy. Absolute, undeniable proof of my pristine innocence. Her narrow perspective completely missed my fierce clash with our attackers. She only captured the deceptive aftermath of our escape. Blurred shadows painting a false narrative, Naomi scrutinizes the screen intently. I lean closer, analyzing every micro-expression on her face. As my retaliatory strike connects with the attackers, her eyebrow witches. A sudden spark of profound amusement dances in her eyes. She slides the device back. You possess undeniable nerve. I chuckle darkly, sealing my digital shield back in my pocket. A man must defend his honor, right? Her gaze sharpens, launching another probe. Is Lydia aware of Winnie's existence? I always knew Naomi and Lydia shared an unbreakable sisterhood. Yet, I was too isolated from their world to comprehend the true depth of their bond. The truth hits me. Naomi has been silently carrying the crushing weight of Lydia's crumbling marriage. Tragically, destiny dictates this fiercely loyal protector will soon become Lydia's absolute worst. Nightmare all over a single man. A chilling emptiness washes over me. I slowly shake my head. She is clueless, and Wendy is merely a passing shadow. Their paths mean nothing to me. Naomi sips her drink, enveloped in deafening silence. Her true verdict remains entirely locked away. 8 tea masterpiece dishes. She tastes merely 2 before vanishing into the night. An absolute tragedy. To gather the remnants and retreat into the darkness. Cruising through the neon-lit streets, a hidden memory ignites. The classified location from Linda's secret dossier. Her roots dig into the desolate borderlands between Alton and Carlton, a forgotten, impoverished ghost town beyond the city limits. Zane's bloodline holds slightly more coin than Wendy's, but barely. With her family banished to Carlton, Lydia's chains are completely shattered. She will inevitably hunt Zane down. Unearthing his deepest secrets would be child's play for a predator like her. She likely holds the map to his sanctuary right now. Zane's schedule is entirely clear, and the academy gates remain firmly shut. He is sitting like a helpless target. Driven by raw instinct, I rip the steering wheel hard, rocketing toward his territory. A crumbling concrete labyrinth stands on the edge of Alton, a decaying relic from a forgotten, desperate era. The toxic wasteland of a chemical plant casts a menacing shadow nearby. His mother bled for that corporation just to secure this miserable fortress. 10 years ago, this colossal factory died. Lydia Group devoured its corpse, leaving it rotting in the shadows without a single vision for tomorrow. But the second that Sleeping Giant awakens, this entire district will be violently wiped from the map. Such is the ruthless nature of capital. Lydia, a monster born of pure profit, wields that blade with terrifying perfection. Her initial payout was a cruel joke, scraping the absolute legal floor. Yet, for Zane's sake, fate took a wildly unpredictable turn. The Ice Queen completely shattered her own persona. Naturally, Zhang emerged as the chosen savior to lead the desperate negotiations. The world braced for a bloody war. Instead, Lydia smiled with unexpected grace, completely rewriting her ironclad rules. Every single family walked away with unimaginable wealth. The sheer scale of it left Zane burning with fury, yet hopelessly touched. Furious at her masterful manipulation of his life, moved because the untouchable queen had moved mountains just to win his heart. Leaning back in the shadows of my car, I watched the complex lights flicker to life. A dark storm of unnamed emotions rages endlessly within me. I was completely blind to her romantic crusade back then. Looking back, she had hunted Zane for exactly 6 months. Short months to become this dangerously obsessed. Ignorant of Zane's exact sanctuary, I let my car crawl like a phantom through the silent estate. 0 walls practically inviting the shadows in. Just as my patrol ends, a gleaming silver Rolls-Royce pierces through the darkness. There she is, Lydia bowing her head to spark a cigarette, a breathtaking goddess shrouded in luxury, shadows, and drifting smoke, a picture-perfect cinematic illusion. Stepping into Zen's shoes, thought hits me. This absolute goddess is hunting me, crushing every barrier with endless wealth, charging through hellfire like a desperate knight, with her obsessive gaze locked solely onto my existence. Zane possesses nothing but a pretty face. The truth strikes me like lightning. In his fragile shoes, I would have surrendered too. Zane may be innocent, but he is no fool. Tracking Lydia's longing gaze, my eyes look onto the 5th floor, the only beacon of light. I dial her number. "What do you want?" She answers, her voice freezing the very air. "Nothing. Just testing if you would actually acknowledge my existence." I stare through the glass as she brutally cuts the line. Strangely, a twisted sense of flattery washes over my numb heart. Drowning in pathetic longing beneath another man's window, she still wasted a single breath to answer her miserable husband. How truly tragic. I shake off the bitter illusion and vanish into the night. Returning to Crestwood Manor, lingering staff have barely wiped away the dust. Linda remains in the shadows, her trembling posture suggesting she was desperately waiting for my return. Master, her voice trembles with rough panic as our eyes meet. I place my meal down, sensing the heavy tension. Linda, what haunts you? Her fearful gaze locks onto mine, face contorted in pure agony. Master, while purifying your chambers today, my clumsy hands shattered a precious bottle of your fragrance. I beg of you, name the price. I'll sacrifice anything to repay it. My voice remains steady. Which specific bottle fell? With trembling hands, she reveals a paper tomb hiding the shattered glass. The legendary Mason Brune essence, nearly 9,000 for a single drop of luxury. An entire month of bleeding sweat could never bridge that gap. Watching this fragile soul wither away, an unnamed sorrow violently grips my heart. A perfectly ordinary servant, yet destiny will eventually crown her as the mother-in-law to Lydia's empire. Heavily, let it go. The bottle was half empty anyway. Just tread lightly from now on. As the words leave my lips, a crushing, bone-deep exhaustion completely swallows my spirit. The haunting vision of Lydia, worshipping that distant window, bleeds into my mind, blurring reality itself. Linda weeps endless gratitude, but I simply turn into a ghost and ascend the stairs. Bathed and hidden behind a soothing mask, I distract myself with digital static. Suddenly, the absolute silence shatters as the bedroom door violently clicks open. The Ice Queen has returned, piercing her with a dead gaze. I speak without a soul. My parents vanished. The pathetic theatre is over. She replies coldly. I am fully aware. Snatching her nightwear, she turns her back and escapes the room. My foolish delusions shatter once again. Exhaling a soul-crushing sigh, I surrender to the darkness. Sean's ringing violently tears me from the abyss. Answer, mine still clouded. What is it, Sean? A paid gig desperately needs a charlist. Are you ready to return? A forgotten spark of pure excitement ignites my chest. For 3 grueling days, I bleed my soul into the strings. I refuse to drag my academy's owner through the mud. With Lydia permanently absent, I unleash my symphony from dawn until the darkest night, letting the rhythm completely devour me. These 3 fleeting days overflow with a magical substance I had long lost. As each legendary chord strikes, ghosts of my past life awaken, injecting an overwhelming, devastating weight into every single note, Marcus. Her voice fights through a chaotic storm of club music. Wendy, where exactly are you wandering? I mask my concern beneath the gentle, protective aura of an older brother. School begins tomorrow. Why are you at a club? The pounding bass drowns her voice. I'm working, Marcus. I cannot talk right now. I end the call, sending a quick text. Tuition not settled. Did we not just cover those medical bills? Her reply flashes instantly. My father's hospital fees. It was not enough. Heavy silence falls over me. I wire 20,000 to her account immediately. I know perfectly how this twisted game operates. Having watched a mastermind like Lydia, I learned from the absolute best. Minutes later, Wendy calls in total panic. Marcus, why did you send this fortune? I can earn the tuition myself. You are just a student. The only duty is studying. I lean back, keeping my tone effortlessly cool and detached. Trust me on this. That academy is elite. Do not squander your precious time on endless part-time shifts. Master your studies and the world is yours. Pay me when you secure a real career. Over the line, Wendy's breath catches with heavy emotion. A strange tightness grips my chest. Am I being too coldly calculating? Manipulating a soul this remarkably pure? She truly believes I am her savior. Beneath this gentle mask, I am nothing but a ruthless wolf. Surviving Alton University with her humble background requires an unimaginable, bone-crushing struggle. Zane aside, I hold deep respect for warriors who fiercely forge their own destiny. Listen to me. Funds run dry, just ask. Consider this your personal scholarship. Return the favor when you succeed. This wealth means nothing to me, but aiding Wendy slightly eases the dark guilt festering within my calculating heart. 2 birds, a single stone. Be drowning in absolute despair to grind through work the night before the grand semester begins. The call ends. She accepts the transfer, leaving one final deeply emotional message. Thank you forever, Marcus. I will absolutely repay you. Leaving her on read, I toss my device away and surrender to sleep. Morning breaks, and I meticulously prepare for the day, immaculately sharp and perfectly composed, slinging my heavy cello case over my shoulder. Command Rye to drive straight toward the prestigious Alton University, setting foot onto the hallowed campus grounds. A suffocating wave of heavy nostalgia suddenly crashes over my soul. observing the bright-eyed freshman vibrating with pure hope. My mind flashes back to my own naive beginnings. I was practically floating on absolute euphoria back then. Enrolling alongside Lydia felt infinitely more glorious than its striking gold. Letting old memories guide my steps, I arrive at the grand concert hall. Every single aspiring maestro must cross this legendary threshold eventually. Massive floor, toe-ceiling glass walls encircle a majestic tiered stage. Today, 52 elite alumni gather to flawlessly execute the breathtaking blue Danube vaults. Formations lock into place instantly. Zero rehearsals, zero practice runs, only pure, unadulterated musical instinct binding their souls. These were the absolute titans of Alton University. Though the cruel world may have scarred them, their godly talent blazes as fiercely as ever. The soaring melody erupts, washing a divine warmth straight through my core. Every tense muscle completely surrenders to the glorious rhythm. A massive crowd of students gathers, utterly mesmerized. The makeshift orchestra explodes with rising aura, seamlessly devouring one legendary masterpiece after another. The performance blazes until high noon. Deafening applause erupts, and I absorb every second of glory. Scanning the throngs, my gaze locks onto Wendy. Sparkling eyes intensely fixed on me. She offers a bashful, timid wave. I flesh a warm, knowing smile in return. As the grand ensemble scatters, I confidently approach her. "Wendy Marcus, I had absolutely no idea you mastered the cello. It was simply breathtaking." She showers me with unbridled praise. "I actually studied cello right here." We strolled together, my heavy cello strapped to my back. I honestly believe men who wield musical instruments possess such an irresistible charm. Wendy's facial bruises have mostly faded. The ghostly shadows of pain still haunt the corners of her delicate eyes. A profound, gentle sweetness radiates entirely from her soul. My heart skips a treacherous beat. Was that charming compliment meant for me? Dear Zane studies music as well, but his domain is vocal performance, entirely avoiding instruments. The exact same path as Sean, aiming for a grand vocalist career. I silently exhale a heavy sigh of reality. My ego overstepped. Her unwavering devotion belongs entirely to Zane. Severing those deeply rooted bonds was never destined to be a simple task. Once Lydia successfully shatters Zane's loyalty, a perfect opening will finally present itself. Besides, Wicked Game was never driven by true love. This is solely about ruthless vengeance. Speak of the devil. Zane suddenly materializes ahead, radiant and youthful, exuding a natural, effortless warmth I could never possess. Spotting Wendy and me together, he does not flinch for a second. His face simply illuminates. "Marcus, what brings you to these hallowed grounds?" I craft a flawless, easy smile, just wrapped up a stage performance, and bumped into Wendy departing. They heard rumors of a legendary musical gathering today. I purged my entire schedule and tragically missed the spectacle. Pure unfeigned regret washes over his bright features. His polite mask holds genuine sorrow. Wendy eagerly chimes in. "No wonder you vanished like a ghost. Your phone was completely dead." A dark split-second shadow violently flickers through Zane's eyes. A subtle wave of unease intertwines with sheer exhaustion. His picture-perfect smile slightly cracks under unseen pressure. The device was silenced. I missed the ringing. The semester's dawn is forever a chaotic battlefield. I bestow a warm smile upon them both. "Shall we feast for lunch?" It is entirely on me. "Goodness, truly, Marcus, but my dorm remains a disastrous mess. We will just scavenge a quick meal at the grand cafeteria. What is your choice, my dear Wendy?" She blindly submits to Zen's gravitational pull without a shred of hesitation. "I will follow him. We shall properly treat you next time, Marcus." He declares with blinding sincerity. "An excellent plan. I shall take my leave now." Recognizing the impenetrable wall, I simply nod and retreat. Ray stands loyal by the slick car. I slide inside, drive us home. The vehicle accelerates through the half-open window. Blurring scenery fades as a familiar silver. Lexus suddenly seizes my attention, that cold silhouette. It is undeniably Lydia. But why the hidden vehicle? What darkness brings her to Alton University? This modest ride is a total disguise, completely unlike her usual arrogant and flashy fleet of luxury cars. She is hunting Zane in secret. The truth clicks. That explains the hollow, suffocating exhaustion shadowing Zane's eyes earlier. The pieces align perfectly. Her relentless pressure would break anyone, especially a man whose heart already belongs to another. Midday sunlight floods Crestwood Manor. By the time I finally step through its heavy, silent doors, the sickening image of her shadow kills my hunger completely. Abandoning the pristine table, I retreat upstairs, utterly drained. "Young master, are you ill? Should I summon the physician?" Linda chases after me, her voice trembling with genuine worry. My earlier mercy over the shattered cologne bought her absolute loyalty. I'm fine, just rest. I dismiss her, collapsing onto the velvet bed. Sensing my chaotic aura, she vanishes like a ghost. Soon, the storm of my thoughts drags me into heavy slumber. My phone explodes with endless ringing. The cello deity has returned. Jason roars through the speaker, shattering my rest. My groggy mind spins in absolute confusion. Open the link I just sent. Witness your glory right now. Click. He vanishes. My screen is flooded with frantic missed calls from Aaron and Sean. Cautiously open the mysterious link. A high-defin recording of today's majestic concert hall performance. There I am, completely immersed on the far left stage. An unknown fan captured every single second. The lens intimately traces my movements, radiating sheer, adulterated adoration. The comment section is an ocean of explosive praise. A brooding god, the undisputed legend of Alton University reborn. Adrenaline surges through my veins, the sheer intoxication of pure unfiltered validation. The high I have never tasted. Past praises were hollow echoes of my father's vast shadow, but this raw worship is entirely my own. Jason strikes again with perfect timing. Did you predict this earthquake? You are a star. Genuine smile breaks my stoic face, a shocking turn of fate. Truly, the dormant spark still burns bright. He scoffs boldly. A king never loses his crown. You abandoned an army of worshippers just to become Lydia's pathetic puppet. Ancient bitter grudge still burns within his voice. That cursed history is buried. I am reborn. Then celebrate with us. Let us forge you into a digital god, a Foreman empire, Sean commanding vocals while we conquer the shadows. Burst into genuine, unstoppable laughter at his delusion. Only his chaotic mind could weave such madness. Cease the nonsense. Send a location for an alcohol-free feast tonight. My body, see Rav's vital energy for the great physical awakening. This matches my rhythm instantly. Consider it done, brother. A hidden tea sanctuary awaits. Its culinary arts rival imperial palaces. Coordinates locked, I don my armor and march out. Fate plays a cruel trick at the grand entrance. Father stands there radiating authority among his elite circle. A post-bequet gathering. Father, our eyes lock in mutual shock. Instantly, an eagle-eyed elder pierces the tense silence. Heavens, is this young master the viral deity? The majestic Charlist shattering the internet today. He is an absolute phenomenon, the patriarch already knew. A flicker of immense pride dances in his stern eyes, though his tone remains impossibly stoic. He merely dabbled in university. The divine instrument lay dormant for ages, yet his triumphant return shakes the very heavens. An unparalleled prodigy with godlike visuals. His destiny is forged in gold. I freeze, drowning in this overwhelming tidal wave of praise. My soul sources, yet my cheeks burn. My slender frame hardly mirrors the towering prosperous aura they foolishly project upon me. The rescue beacon flashes. Jason is impatient. Father, my comrades await. He waves a dismissive hand, commanding my swift departure. Vet toward the sanctuary. I prepare to secure family dinner plans, but a sudden shadowy figure emerging from his vehicle paralyzes me. Bathed in pale street lights, a woman in her 40s radiates lethal elegance. She bows to the patriarch with chilling, calculated devotion, a whispered command. He vanishes into the armored back seat, surrendering the steering wheel to this mysterious midnight chauffeur. His eternal shadow was always male. When did this regime change occur? A venomous wave of unspeakable dread suffocates my intuition. Why are you frozen like a statue? Aaron shatters the tension, his heavy hand striking my shoulder, securing the perimeter naturally. A one-man honor guard, deeply moved. Forcefully bury the creeping darkness, throwing my arm around my blood. Brother, we march. The heavy wooden doors yield. An intoxicating tsunami of ancient tea leaves washes over us, accompanied by hauntingly beautiful string melodies. Instant spiritual purification. Jason is already striking an arrogant pose, forcing Sean to capture his digital trap for an unsuspecting maiden. Absolute shamelessness. In my foolish youth, I judged his tactical romances as nothing but shallow, refined child's play. But truly, he navigates this treacherous world with supreme wisdom. Marcus Aaron, the master tactician, drops his act, flashing a victorious grin. Claim your thrones. The imperial feast is summoned. We surrender to his grand designs. 4 souls united around the simmering table. The tea hostess moves with practiced grace, bringing quiet serenity to our private room. I request a cup of golden eyebrow, a perfectly sweet brew. She performs the ancient brewing ritual before our eyes, detailing the rich history and unique soul of every single leaf. It is absolutely mesmerizing to witness. We savor the rich tea just as our feast finally arrives. Every single bite is culinary perfection. As the server opens the door for our next course, fate decides to intervene. My eyes catch Lydia and Naomi walking down the hall. They are dining here too. A sudden spark of curiosity flickers in my chest, but I quickly bury that thought. The life is her own business now. The heavy atmosphere fades as my friends resume their lively chatter. Suddenly, Sean drops a massive bombshell. "Brothers," he declares with a grin. "Claire and I are tying the knot." I nearly choke on my exquisite meal. Jason and Aaron freeze in absolute shock. "Are you insane? You are willingly walking into a graveyard. Maybe a graveyard for others, but for us, it is a fortress." Sean possesses unwavering faith in Claire, and they truly look picture perfect. Besides, family lacks his immense power. She would never dare cross him. But Jason sneers. "Trust no one, Sean. Do not let blind affection make you a fool." Jason grips his shoulder with iron intensity. "Wake up. At least wait another 6 months." Sean simply smiles, knowing our warnings come from brotherhood. Without a shred of anger, he chuckles and gently pushes Jason away. "You guys carry such a dark, cynical view of holy matrimony. I will be the one to change that." Jason tries to argue, but I shoot him a warning glare, getting him to stand down. Even blood brothers must respect certain boundaries. My stomach suddenly twists with sharp unease. "I need the restroom," I murmur, slipping out of the heavy atmosphere. Walking down the silent corridor, a familiar voice pierces the air. "It is Stella. Lydia, is this actually true, love?" I freeze, my breath catching in my throat. Monica laughs with a venomous bite. "Too bad the boy ignores your very existence. Even your legendary charm falls short. He already has a girlfriend, Lydia. Let him go." Village boys are a dime a dozen. That is her toxic inner circle for you. They never pull her back from the edge. They only fuel her destructive desires. And I get it. To them, my title as her husband is an absolute joke. Then Naomi speaks, her voice ice cold. "About Marcus. Honestly, I still feel a twinge of guilt over that cruel thermos incident. Forcing him to drink cigarette butts was crossing the line." A heavy silence falls. Then Lydia finally speaks, her tone dripping with absolute arrogance. "Please. This is not love. It is just the intoxicating thrill of chasing the forbidden. You always crave what you cannot possess." The rest of her poisonous words fade into white noise. My gut twists violently, urging me away. Later that night, at the manor, Lydia marches into her study. I quietly shower, preparing for another lonely sleep. I am barely drying my hair when she invades my room. A complex, unreadable shadow darkens her eyes, sending a hollow, lingering aches straight through my chest. "Marcus, we need to talk." Her voice is frighteningly calm. I slowly nod. 10 minutes later, her selfish grand design finally becomes crystal clear to me. We live our own separate lives, but with one absolute rule. I must never cross paths with her inner circle. To the old rules. No social media, no alerting our powerful families. 3 ironclad conditions. Why not just end this nightmare and divorce? I ask, my voice sounding utterly hollow. "We lack the legal grounds," she replies without a single flinch. Then she turns and abandons the room. A dark realization hits me. This entire contract modification is about Zane. She's clearing the battlefield, ensuring I never ruin her sick little hunting game. But the greatest irony, absolutely no idea, she's about to fall completely and tragically in love with her prey. From that fateful night, Lydia becomes a ghost. Over 2 weeks pass without a single footprint in Crestwood Manor. I easily slip back into my solitary existence. It's like the old days, except for the lingering staff. You are not children anymore. Handle your conflicts like rational adults. Screaming matches solve absolutely nothing. One quiet afternoon, Linda's hushed voice echoes from the shadowy stairwell. She is desperately pleading through the phone. I freeze on the steps, letting the shadows hide me. "Wendy is a wonderful girl. She treats you like pure gold. Your father and I can finally sleep knowing she is by your side. Whatever the storm is, talk it out." Linda. Eternal approval of Wendy is absolute. Did Zane and Wendy have a catastrophic falling out? My mind races, piecing the fractured timeline together. But I refuse to step into their messy drama. I will simply watch this fragile glass house shatter. Will wait for Lydia divorce papers and sign them without blinking. Resolving my heart, I turn away. "Sir, could I possibly take a half day off?" Linda suddenly calls out, her face pale with extreme discomfort. A sudden crisis has struck my home. "You can deduct it from my salary." I pause, gazing down from the grand staircase, and let my cold expression soften. "What happened? Let me drive you." I was planning to head into the city anyway. "Oh, heavens no, I could never ask that." She stammers, completely overwhelmed by my unexpected kindness. "Finding a cab near Crestwood Manor is practically impossible. Do not argue. Give me 10 minutes to change." Exactly 10 minutes later, my engine roars to life. I casually ask for her destination, playing the fool despite knowing exactly whose battlefield we are approaching, and slam the accelerator. I probe the waters carefully during the drive, Linda spills endless praise about Zayn and Wendy romance. Yet, the true catalyst for this explosive fight remains hidden. If even a mother is kept in the dark, this secret must be a devastating truth. Neither lover dares to speak aloud. Approaching the worn-down neighborhood, my eyes lock onto Wendy. Fixed on a concrete planter, looking entirely shattered. "Sir, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please come inside for some tea." Linda begs with genuine tearful gratitude. I wave her off. "Do not worry about me. Go fix your family." To her endless gratitude, she vanishes inside. Instantly, I whip the car around. Target Wendy. Thank heavens, she's exactly where I left her, drowning in silent sorrow. I adjust my collar and roll down the glass. "Wendy, why are you still out here?" She flinches at my sudden voice. "The heat is brutal today. Get in. I know a place." She shakes her head, looking utterly shattered. "Marcus, please. I just need to be alone." Ignoring her pleas, I gently grasp her arm and guide her inside. "You can drown in your thoughts without burning in the sun. Come on, let us get a drink." Her resistance crumbles. She collapses into the passenger seat, completely silent. 30 minutes later, the neon lights of the Imperial Club surround us. "Whatever is crushing your soul, let it out." I press the microphone into her trembling hand. Instantly, the dam breaks. Devastating sobs rack her body. I freeze, stunned. "Marcus, Zay wants to end it. What do I do?" The words barely escape her choking sobs. My mind reels in my past life. Lydia spent an entire year hunting Zayn before Wendy finally surrendered. The timeline is shattered. This is way too soon. What exactly happened? Tell me everything. Let me fix this. I swallow my shock, keeping my tone perfectly steady. Yesterday, I accidentally saw a message, a text from a complete stranger on his phone. It was sickeningly intimate. We screamed at each other. I demanded a name, but he refused to speak. The trust is dead. Maybe we should just end it. She buries her face in her hands. A storm of agony and despair echoes in her voice. Meanwhile, my mask remains perfectly composed. What were the exact words? Silence hangs heavy in the room. Then she whispers, "I want to see you. Please give me one more chance." So this is the madness of love. The arrogant Lydia reduced to a pathetic beggar. A text she would never ever send to me. I could have vanished from the earth, left with absolute nothingness, and she would not have shed a single tear. The hellish fires of my past life, I finally accepted my cruel fate. I was never the one for her. But innocent Wendy, she knows nothing of this darkness. She has no future memories to shield her heart. Zayn threw reckless words like daggers. She drowns her bleeding soul in alcohol. Pity washes over me as I watch her. A dark whisper urges me to tell her, let him go, escape the incoming nightmare. Yet another part of my soul burns with rage. Why should destiny tear them apart so early? Marcus, I love him so deeply. I know my family background is nothing special. I know I am beneath his status, but I swear I would fight for him. The alcohol shatters her walls. Desperate confessions spill out like a broken dam. 1,000 girls chased him. He chose me. I was in pure heaven. I vowed to heaven he would never regret my love. Then why is he fading into the shadows? Tell me what to do. It feels like my heart is being ripped out. She downs another glass. Stop, do not let paranoia in. If he is innocent, a desperate message just means someone is hunting him. It does not mean he opened the door. A hollow, shattered smile crosses her lips. This is different in the past. He always confessed instantly. He never left me in the dark like this. Hidden truth is sealing his lips. Let me invite him out. We will pry the truth open together. Thank you. You're too kind, Marcus. A fragile smile paints her tear-stained face. No need for thanks. We are comrades in this mess. I offer a comforting pat on her trembling shoulder. Moments later, the exhaustion claims her completely. I signal the VIP staff to escort her upstairs. I turn to leave, but suddenly her phone lights up. The caller ID flashes. Zayn. I swipe to answer. Wendy. Where are you? Panic drips from his voice. Zayn, relax. It is Marcus. She's resting at the Imperial Club. Come claim your woman. Marcus, how did you? Confusion chokes his words. I smoothly narrate our coincidental encounter in the blazing sun. Thick silence thickens the air. Then this is all my fault. I already blocked the crazy woman. I am burning this phone number tomorrow. Poor naive kid. I know the dark truth. It will not stop her. Lydia's obsession knows no boundaries. Who is this phantom woman? Give me a name. Zayn freezes. Marcus, just wait for me. I will reveal everything face to face. The call drops. My fingers dance across the screen, sending a cold text to Lydia. A strict reminder. My father's banquet is in 2 days. Her presence is mandatory. Zayn bursts through the doors like a hurricane. Seeing Wendy's lifeless tear-stained face, his arrogant mask completely shatters with a little strategic push from me. He forces his trembling voice steady. I cannot expose her identity. She is another man's wife. I swear on my life. I want absolutely nothing to do with her. His bloodshot eyes tell a tragic story. The man has been weeping for days. If you do not know her, how do you know her marital status? Did you dig into her past? He violently wipes away a rogue tear. How it is a cursed path. Why would I seek my own doom? And besides what? Zane? I corner him, venomous curiosity slipping through my mask. I am terrified to look. The sheer disgust makes me sick if I discovered her husband's identity. The crushing guilt would literally destroy me. I could never face that poor man. Fresh tears cascade down his cheeks. A jolt of shock hits my core. He is running blind purely to escape the phantom weight of a stranger's honor. Let his pathetic truth hang in the heavy air. A deep, calculated sigh escapes my lips. Whatever path you choose, pray it does not end in eternal regret. With that, I turn my back to the drama. Yet, the moment I push open my front doors, chilling surprise awaits. Lydia sits like a queen, while Linda respectfully pours her tea. I silently slip off my shoes, analyzing the enemy from the shadows. Linda, did I not grant you leave? Your shift was over until tomorrow morning. Lydia bows her head with a deceptive calm. The tasks were swift, master. Every little detail has been perfectly altered. The puzzle pieces violently snap together, Zane reaching out to Wendy. Linda's invisible hands orchestrated the entire puppet show. She pours me a steaming cup, bowing before fading into the shadows. A suffocating silence swallows the grand living room, just me, and the wife from my curse had passed. We sit as bitter enemies, sipping hot tea over an ocean of unspoken wars. I shattered the heavy silence first. My father's birthday is in today's gift ready. Lydia's piercing gaze locked onto mine. Mother said you gifted her bracelets. She probed. My tone remained perfectly flat. I possessed a rare pair of violet jadeite. Appropriate. Her eyes narrowed into icy slits, desperately searching my face for hidden motives. Sinking into the leather sofa, she struck. What is your endgame? Flattering my mother. I didn't blink, meeting her hostility head-on. We'd never shared such prolonged, intense eye contact. Those bracelets were pure strategy. By securing her mother's absolute favor, the matriarch would become Zane's worst nightmare later. My constant support for Wendy, a precise settling of old debts, and drawing closer to Naomi, the perfect needle to pierce Lydia's thick armor. Every single step is a masterstroke in my silent game of chess. Success or failure meant nothing, for I was never aiming for some miraculous underdog victory anyway. Expression remained utterly serene. A son-in-law, honoring his mother-in-law. Is that truly so suspicious? Stop overthinking things. If you desire a divorce right now, I will sign the papers tonight. Gaze instantly frosted over and hand you 3% of the Lydia group. I let the suffocating silence stretch. Is Zane really not worth that sacrifice? A dangerous glint flashed in her eyes. Her inner thoughts remained completely locked away. Finally, the crushing silence broke with her usual frustrating refusal. Keep dreaming, my mind raced. Did she actually run the calculations and decide Zane's value fell short of that monumental price tag? She spent weeks ruthlessly hunting him, almost destroying a relationship along the way. Yet, she remains completely blind to her own desires. My stare never wavered. What if I leave empty-handed? Those corporate shares were undeniably alluring. I wouldn't lie about that. Walking away with absolutely nothing wouldn't break me. It would grant me immediate freedom, and that sounded like absolute paradise. Lydia's rejection was razor-sharp. No, the sheer audacity of her answer caught me off guard. Couldn't hold my tongue anymore. Lydia, hasn't it crossed your mind that my very presence obstructs your little pursuit? She had been obsessed for weeks. She had to realize this dynamic was entirely different. The famous idols, the previous toys. She never exhausted this much energy on mere playthings. Her gaze plummeted to the floor. Whatever stormed inside her head remained hidden behind an impenetrable fortress. After an agonizing wait, she murmured, "It won't." She refuses to acknowledge the truth until it shatters her reality. For such a brilliant mastermind, she is hopelessly blind to her own chaotic emotions. A heavy sigh escaped my lips. I abandoned this pointless battle, retreating to the sanctuary of sleep. It broke, bringing an unexpected text from Wendy. Marcus, Zane, and I reconciled. Thank you. Dinner is on us soon. My eyes scanned the glowing screen. I left the message on read. A dark smirk formed. Lady's day was about to become a living nightmare. She showered. I descended the staircase. She was already entrenched on the sofa. A storm cloud hung over her head. Ignoring her dark aura, I strolled into the dining hall. Linda, what is on the morning menu? The maid expertly portioned steaming noodles. Triple fresh broth today, sir. I prepared braised eggs last night. Shall I crown your bowl with one? They turned out absolutely magnificent. A delicate bowl of premium birds, nest soup, and fresh fruit graced the table. My stomach rumbled in anticipation. Taking my seat, I devoured the feast. Seconds later, Lydia claimed the seat directly opposite mine. The silence between us was deafening. Suddenly, a single sharp vibration from her phone. Her eyes darted to the screen. In a flash, pure devastation twisted her flawless features, leaving her meal completely untouched. She violently pushed the bull away and shot up. Tomorrow morning, 9 for the family estate. I threw the reminder at her, retreating back. Do not forget. Hard nothing. She offered nothing but silence. Her trembling silhouette vanished into the sprawling manor. That text was undoubtedly from Zane, and its contents had dealt a critical psychological blow. Nothing else could shatter her iron composure so completely. Her gaze drifted toward Linda, who was nervously cleaning the countertops. Did Zane ever confess to his girlfriend that a married heiress was hunting him? Well, that very heiress just fled in agony. Grabbing my coat, I informed Linda. Skip my lunch setting. Heading out. Today was reserved for a comprehensive health screening. In this second life, physical vitality was my absolute foundation. This vessel required meticulous maintenance, following hours of sterile rooms and endless diagnostics. I finally conquered the medical gauntlet. A sudden, calculated inspiration struck me before the exit. I navigated toward Naomi's clinical wing. Spotting her instantly, a charming smile painted my face. Dr. Naomi, she sat hunched over a mundane, boxed meal. Upon noticing me, a subtle crease formed between her brows. Sliding into the chair beside her, I began. Such a humble feast. You have my utmost respect. You always stood apart from that superficial elite circle. They are spoiled princesses. You possess a rare, sharpened elegance. Naomi shot me an icy, peripheral glare. Her expression remained an unrateable void, wielding me as a blade to provoke Lydia again. She had completely dissected my previous scheme. Without a word, retrieved my device. Allow me to present a little revelation. With a tap, I summoned Wendy's digital profile banner, a picture-perfect shot of her and Zane, brilliant azure skies above them, fingers intertwined, beaming radiantly at the lens, disgustingly intoxicated by their own euphoric romance. I analysed every micro-expression on Naomi's face. Does this man look familiar to you? Her sharp eyes scrutinised the glowing pixels. A dangerous spark ignited in her pupils. It was devoid of any romantic longing. Tearing her gaze away, she answered coldly, "He is a stranger, but that woman is Wendy." Her fixation was entirely on the girlfriend. I blinked in sheer confusion. True, their photograph lacked the overwhelming aura of a living, breathing encounter. Yet, in my previous life, Naomi's fanatical obsession with Zane rivaled Lydia's madness. Shouldn't even a digital trace of him trigger some buried instinct? Perhaps this twisted fate required physical proximity to awaken. I should have interrogated the past far more ruthlessly before my regression. Now I was navigating this chaotic chessboard completely blind. I exhale sharply. Yeah, I mutter. Do you know that college kid Lydia has been obsessing over? That is him. Naomi's eyes narrow like drawn blades. I knew someone existed, just not his identity. How do you? Because yesterday their relationship almost shattered. I was the one who salvaged their rift. Zane, Alton University Music Department, and the kicker, he has absolutely zero clue I am Lydia's husband. Burning questions flash across Naomi's face, but as her colleagues flood back into the room, she swallows her words. Catching the hint, I rise to my feet. Dinner tonight. The rabbit hole goes much deeper. She nods firmly. Fine, you choose the battlefield. Stepping away, a playful voice drifts from her co-worker. Oh my, is our icy Dr. Naomi actually going on a date tonight? Her muffled reply fades into the background. I secure a private room at Songfang Tea House, tracing the echoes of Jason's past invitation. Dusk falls, bringing Naomi right on schedule. I had not bothered returning home. Rendering to sleep inside our secluded tatami room, she finds me sprawled across the woven mats. A cold finger taps my cheek. Wake up. Blinking away the fog, I offer a sheepish grin. Forgive me. My sleeping posture is not exactly majestic. The fleeting phantom smile graces Naomi's usually stoic expression. She settles gracefully at the wooden table. A server pours the steaming brew, and I swiftly wave him out of the room. Time for the truth. To unravel everything from that faded cafe encounter with Zane to crossing paths with Wendy and slowly infiltrating their inner circle. I lay every card on the table. It sounds like a twisted script, I admit, but destiny orchestrated this without my interference. Naomi pieces the puzzle together, so you hold all their secrets while remaining completely invisible to them. I nod solemnly, her piercing gaze locks onto me. Why keep up the charade? Tell them. You know Lydia's nature, I count her. Would the truth even stop her? She abandoned Zane for my sake. Never. My resistance is meaningless against her obsession. My heart never held any value to her. I am merely a ghost in her life. How can a shadow battle the one person who ignites her genuine passion? Speaking those words awakens a dark tide within. The suffocating despair and venom from my previous life threaten to break free. Genuine shock ripples across Naomi's features. Through endless years of Lydia's humiliating scandals, my mask had never slipped like this before. But she remains blind to the tragic future I have already witnessed. I crush the rising emotion. I have granted Lydia her absolute freedom. A predator does not abandon its prey. She will claim him. Exposing myself to Zane would not alter destiny's cruel course. He would drown in guilt, fleeing from Lydia, which would only spark her manic obsession further. And Wendy. She is defenseless against a monster like my wife. I have calculated every single timeline. The ending remains doomed. Naomi breaks the heavy silence. Then why reveal this to me? A bitter chuckle escapes my lips. So you understand, I am no longer playing the blind fool. I am filing for divorce. Lydia is the anchor dragging me down. I need you to stop playing her peacemaker. Naomi's roots with Lydia run deep into childhood. She witnessed my pathetic, soul-deep devotion firsthand. My sudden icy resolve leaves her visibly stunned. Are you truly certain? I nod without hesitation. A profound silence consumes the room. I cannot even begin to decipher the gears turning in her head. Only as we finally part ways does she speak. It is a mercy that you have finally severed those chains. Yes, I had bled for that illusion for too long. I used to foolishly believe that a lifetime of devotion would force the heavens to answer my prayers. Naomi always saw the ugly truth. This marriage was a solitary cross I bore alone. Walking home, the crushing weight on my soul miraculously vanishes. I have finally stepped out of my own shadow. Humming a forgotten melody, I wash away the past and sink into a dreamless sleep. Dawn breaks, bringing a surge of purpose. Today is my father's birthday. Securing his gift, I send a cold, obligatory text to Lydia. Do not forget my parents' estate today. In my previous life, her shadow never even graced the doorstep. I had pathetically shielded her, blaming phantom business meetings. I expect the same betrayal today, but my days of protecting her honor are dead. Pushing through the childhood doors, I beam. Happy birthday, Dad. My mother's warm smile welcomes me. So early. Have you had breakfast? I affectionately hook my arm through my father's, taking my seat. Naturally. What else do I pay the staff for? But my father's eyes dart toward the empty doorway. The joyful atmosphere instantly plummets. Just you again? Where is Lydia? He scoffs bitterly. Her arrogance grows by the day. I offer a hollow smile, swallowing the bitter truth. A man of his prestigious rank should be drowning in guests and lavish gifts today. But he despises that superficial world. No extravagant banquets, no sickening flattery, just the sacred bond of family. As their complaints about my wife reach a boiling point, a pristine silhouette suddenly fills the doorway. Panic spikes. I desperately shush my father. Lydia has arrived. The old man freezes, a wave of sheer awkwardness washing over him. My mother rushes from the kitchen, her face lighting up. Lydia, please come inside. Quickly sculpted, polite smile touches Lydia's lips. I just arrived. She glides to the seat opposite us, radiating elegance. Her aura is flawless, chillingly composed. Placing a sophisticated box on the wood, she nods. Happy birthday, Dad. A humble token. Premium tea leaves. With his government position, anything extravagant would cross the line, but he cherishes a perfect brew. Lydia's psychological warfare is terrifyingly precise. He cannot reveal his excitement without losing face. Instead, he masks his joy with a dignified approving nod. I am so glad you came. No gifts were necessary. Lydia replies with perfect practiced grace. Work keeps me chained away, especially on your birthday. Arriving empty-handed is simply unacceptable for a woman usually forced of pure ice. Lydia plays the warm conversationalist flawlessly. The alliance between my father and her family is strictly business. She is far too calculating to let emotions interfere. Her ruthless pragmatism is exactly why in my past life, watching her burn her entire empire to ashes, for Zane shattered my reality. My father waves his hand dismissively. Do not say such things. A woman's empire must come first. Their chatter flows effortlessly, inevitably drifting toward corporate strategy. The dull noise fades from my mind. By midday, a lavish feast covers the table. The four of us share meals and shallow pleasantries. For a fleeting second, this domestic warmth feels like a fragile illusion. As we finish, my father's phone shatters the peace. I appreciate the gesture. He ends the call, balancing a sigh with a proud smile. My secretary arranged a banquet. They absolutely insist. My mother nods knowingly. Go on. It is a kind gesture. Sitting at the doorway, my father turns back. Lydia, I must depart. Please stay and relax. Of course, father. Yet the moment his shadow fades, Lydia's warmth vanishes. Within minutes, she prepares her exit, claiming an office emergency. Her steps out the door, claiming the passenger seat of her luxury car before she can even protest. Lydia's gaze is a wall of absolute frost. What exactly are you doing? I secure my seatbelt without a single ounce of shame. Give me a ride. The car is being serviced, and taxis are a nightmare. Her lips press into a thin, deeply displeased line. Rejecting me outside my parents' home would ruin her perfect facade. Defeated by social obligation, she silently surrenders. Inside the cabin, a sickeningly familiar scent hits me. Zane's signature tobacco. Was he sitting exactly here this morning? I thought he could with her. How are their pets crossing so soon? A dark suspicion claws at my mind. The pieces of this twisted puzzle are not fitting. Zane's toxic pride would never accept her this quickly. In my previous life, her obsession only burned fiercely because he was utterly unattainable. The thrill of the hunt was everything. I pull out a lighter, slipping it deep into the seat's crevice. Then I recline my chair completely. When that rat crawls back into the seat, he will be forced to adjust it, and then he will find my little trap. I shut my eyes, finding sleep. Lydia remains frozen in stony silence. Suddenly, phone shatters the quiet and she answers instantly. She drops all pretense. It is Zane. The sheer desperation in her lightning-fast response reveals all her hidden secrets. Her tone shifts into an alien sickening sweetness I have never witnessed. What happened? Please do not cry. Stay exactly there. I am coming. The brakes screech as she violently pulls over. Get out. Her eyes are wild. Take a cab, or I will have someone fetch you. What is happening? I ask, my curiosity genuine. Urgent matter needs my attention. She snaps, vibrating with impatience. I refuse to budge. Where? Take me with you. I am terribly bored. Expecting immediate rejection, I am stunned when a chilling razor-thin smile crosses her face. You really want to come? Zane has dug himself into a miserable hole. I nod firmly. Let us go. Without another breath, she slams her foot on the accelerator. Tires screech outside a towering shopping plaza. Lydia marches inside like a woman possessed. Tell her shadow stray to the 6th floor culinary hall. Absolute chaos grips a high-end Japanese restaurant. Disaster hangs thick in the air. Staying hidden in the shadows, I observe the unfolding wreckage. 5 minutes later, Lydia emerges, clutching Zane. The pathetic fool looks like he has been weeping, his eyes bloodshot. Tenderly, she strokes his messy hair. She sees him like a fragile, trembling puppy. Before today, they were merely whispers in the dark. Now she parades her obsession in broad daylight. A phantom pain echoes in my chest, a scar from my past life. Crushing the weakness, I snap a damning photo and walk into the shadows. Riding the elevator down, scattered whispers drift into my ears, piecing together the pathetic drama that just occurred above. Apparently, the arrogant brat insulted their ingredients, provoked the head chef, and wound up pathetically locked in the kitchen. Such childish, reckless behavior. Yet, the Ice Queen dropped her entire kingdom to rescue him. The truly sickening part is ecstatic to do it. Disgusted, I grab a cab homeward. During the ride, I forward the evidence to Naomi. Her response chimes long after I arrive. Why did my fingers even send that image? Was my wounded pride begging for sympathy? Suddenly, his call breaks my spiral. Marcus, are you free tomorrow? His voice practically glows with joy. He sounds wonderfully, annoyingly happy. Help me choose a suit. Claire and I are getting engaged next week. I accept without a second thought. Absolutely. The location. I will be there at 8. Sean disconnects in a rush, and the address immediately flashes across my screen. Rubbing my throbbing temples, I drag my exhausted body into the living room. Linda and May, the housemaids, bow respectfully at my arrival. I collapse onto the velvet sofa, but the sickening image of Lydia's gentle hands, tangled in Zane's hair, burns like acid in my mind. 10 grueling years, I bled for her affection, yet that parasite gets it effortlessly. My eyes snap open. Linda, may I ask you both a question? She immediately halts her duties. Of course, young master. I pause for a breath, carefully weaving the threads of my hypothetical scenario. A friend of mine is in a happy relationship, but a wealthy, powerful woman starts hunting him, and his loyalty wavers. Who should he choose? The two maids exchange a wary glance. May speaks up instantly. His girlfriend, obviously. You never cross lines with a married woman. I remain utterly silent. Sharp gaze locking onto Linda. Wealth means nothing to Linda. Her loyalty is absolute. She despises anyone shattering a sacred marriage bond. Utterly shameless. Stealing another person's spouse is unforgivable. Fast morals are truly a breath of fresh air. How did my past life crumble to ash? I dismiss Linda for dinner, drifting into an uneasy slumber. Suddenly, Lydia's sharp voice pierces the silence. Marcus, wake up. My eyes snap open to her freezing glare. In her grip, the lighter I planted in her car. Discovered so soon, she definitely drove Zane back. Feigning ignorance, I rub my eyes. What is it? The lighter violently hits my chest. Was this a sick joke? I casually catch the metal completely unfazed. It's just a lighter. Why the blazing hostility? Drop the innocent act. Her voice drips with absolute frost. I lean back, practically radiating calm defiance. Did your precious rescued boy get jealous seeing this? My apologies, I mock gently. Do not dare touch him, Lydia threatens, or I will destroy you. A tiny fracture heads my calm facade. Relax. I never step foot inside. He is nobody to me. She will protect Zane at all costs. Burying today's scandal in the absolute shadows, Lydia storms upstairs, a blizzard trailing her footsteps. Just as our rift began closing, my trap triggered her explosive fury. The chasm between us instantly doubles. Her rage is palpable. Once she vanishes, Linda whispers from the shadows. Dinner awaits, sir. I nod, eat, and sleep. Your mind must remain razor-sharp for tomorrow's clash with Sean. Suddenly, a text chimes. My mother-in-law sends an endless herbal prescription. Marcus, get these gathered immediately. 2 daily doses for 2 weeks. My exhaustion vanishes. What is this? I reply. Vitality herbs. Her harmony is shattered. I need grandchildren before I die. I want to refuse, but Lydia only drinks medicine under her mother's terrifying gaze. Resigning defeat, I agree. Fine, but she might pour it out. Confident thumbs up flashes on my screen. Just by the herbs, I will handle my stubborn daughter. At dawn, I dispatch Linda for the bitter roots. Linda scans the massive list, her eyes widening in pure shock. Sir, are you ill? I smile, shaking my head. No. My mother-in-law demands these for Lydia. She is desperate for an heir. I declare this loudly, letting the words echo. Now, when Linda inevitably catches Lydia and Zane together, she will remember who truly holds the title of husband here. Sir, our relative is a master healer. He brews a miraculous fertility elixir that never fails. Shall I request his divine brew? Linda offers warmly. Truly, you are a lifesaver. Fetch a few doses immediately. Finding joyful shock, I play my part perfectly. If it works, 3 doubles. You're far too generous, sir.